Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane what is going on. Yo, King. Get in here, ladies and gentlemen. Get in. Get in here, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Get involved. Oh, there's me. Wow, face of the franchise. How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? Are we live? Are we rocking and rolling? Get in. Get in here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear from you. What are we saying? Are we even live? Let's see. We are. Yes, we absolutely are. Get in here, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, there it is. All right. Chat is up. Chat is up. Chat is up. This man is the face of the franchise. We live. You live. Joy and jubilation. Giddy with glee. Speak on it. So Carr retired. Breaking news. Everyone wake up. The nightmare is over. Shucking right. End of an era. End of an era. Carr SBC coming soon. Yeah, Mutt Champs is going to go absolutely insane. We are live and we are so back. Yes, sir. Get in. Absolutely insane. Ladies and gentlemen, well, I'll tell you this. I just arrived into the stream. Good news, because we just started the stream. Stream's been live for 60 seconds. All right? 60 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Carr's injury must have been worse than he thought. My friend called me while I was sleeping to tell me this. Is it real? It's real. It's real. They are real and they are fabulous. This is a Sydney Sweeney situation. Shough is locked in right now. Shough versus Rattler ladder match. $10 super chat just like that. Retiring because he's soft. Can't handle the Saints fans who want him gone because so glad the Raiders got rid of him. There you go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy, man. This is the last thing absolutely insane. I mean, like, let me paint y'all the picture of what I was doing, okay? I was looking at horse races at the Aqueduct, Churchill's Down, and Santa Anita. I was about to enter a couple tournaments that probably have already started now. I'm sitting there. I'm watching Brighton and Hove Albion versus Wolverhampton in the Premier League. And I look at my phone and I see the notification. And I'm like, that's just a meme. That's just a joke. That's just LOL. And then I see Nick's tweet. And then I see Mike Triplett's tweet. And then I see everyone else's tweets. And I'm like, oh my God, this is real. So, you know, I put the mimosa down, put some pants on, run in here, do the video, and now we're live. Jeremy Ryan, that's a good one. White smoke coming out of the Saints front office. That's a good one. That's a good one. I might tweet that. That's a good one. That's solid. That's absolutely solid. Honest makes sense because he just started the homegrown channel. Seems like a retirement move. Hey, we've all been there, right? You make a couple YouTube videos. Things are going pretty well. Things are going all right on YouTube. Next thing you know, you quit your job, and then you go for YouTube full time. Happens to the best of us, man. Happens to the best of us. They're going to need more than 800 views or whatever a video if they're going to make that work. But I wish him the best. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk about the whole thing. And I'm going to, let's see here. I'm going to tweet that Pope thing. That was solid. That was absolutely solid. I'm tweeting that out. Let me think about the wording. Shough sat up like the Undertaker. YouTube has everyone quitting their jobs. I know, man. I know. We'll see. Could Shough get 4, or would that be bad vibes? Why would he want to do that? Why in the world would he want to do that? Dang. Guarantee they couldn't trade him because he made himself radioactive with all this nonsense? I don't think there was a market. I think him and Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I talked about this on a million videos, but I think him and Aaron Rodgers, like, I think they expected a market. There was not a market, you know? And then now what I think happened, so let's talk about the cap. All right, because the cap is like the big question. So the Saints do get $30 million back. The Saints get $30 million back from the restructure. So if you remember, they restructured the contract and they pushed $30 million into the future in bonuses. Well, there is no future, right? So that money, those bonuses get recouped. His $10 million he gets to keep from the roster bonus or whatever, okay? So what I think happened was, I think Carr and the Saints basically agreed to disagree and said, you keep your $10 million, we'll keep our $30 million, and let's just get out of here. Let's just get out. And that was it. Because if Carr would have had surgery and got the $40 million, I think the Saints would have got it anyways. They would have had to go into, you know, when was he injured? When did he know? And then it would have been a whole thing. So instead of doing that, instead of all that controversy and all that whatever, they just had a clean split. And they just straight up said, you keep your 10, we'll keep our 30, see you never. And we'll send you your stuff from your desk. Face of the Shuckin' franchise, $2 from Petty Capital. Thank you very much. Appreciate that on a Saturday. You think we get the wide receiver from the Chargers now? I mean, the Saints have $60 million right now, somewhere around there. And they can do whatever they want. Yeah, I mean, Keenan Allen, like Amari Cooper, like people like that who, like Keenan Allen, I mean, it depends on what the Saints, they could certainly use it. I mean, they could certainly use him. And I think now you got the cash, do what you got to do. You know, you can kind of make a play. You can really do some stuff now. I mean, you're talking about a lot of money. Retirement gives him the Favre route to come back to some other team next year. True, yeah. I mean, like, that's another thing. Like, people are like, well, does this mean like he retires? Like, yeah, sure, of course. I mean, Michael Jordan retired and played minor league baseball, came back, right? Like, we've seen that before. We've seen people retire, come back. So that's fine. I mean, sure, that's fine. But it has nothing to do with the Saints. And if Derek gets a surgery or rehabs and comes back next year and plays for a team, I wish him the best. But it has nothing to do with the Saints. You know, nothing to do with the Saints. The Saints don't have to release him. Saints don't have to have anything to do. It's straight up just he can do whatever he wants. It's over. Like, it's over. It is the cleanest break you can. It's the cleanest break you can possibly have, which is kind of crazy because this did work out the best possible way for the New Orleans Saints. The best possible thing would be this, which is basically a release while keeping the money. This is the only way that could have happened. Because if they released him, he keeps the money. He keeps $40 million. But now, I mean, it's nuts. Absolutely crazy. Now, I'll tell you this. You got to question, or not, you don't have to question, because we already covered it. But like all the reports, it really shows you all the reports that were coming out this week, just how like, and we did videos on it, but how like they just didn't mean anything. You know, like the NFL Network reports, like he was trying to play week 1 and all this stuff, and it was just rehashing the same stuff without any information. Like all that stuff just looks so bad now. And, it shows you got, when you see those sources, when you see the unnamed sources and all that I'm hearing, and you gotta take it with a grain of salt for sure. Is it possible that's the reason Carr was dragging this on to keep them? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. You said he'll never play another down for the Saints. Yeah, we knew. Like the second when he moved to Fresno and he wasn't here, and like I feel bad for like the Carr backers who have been in my comments for literally 24 hours a day for like 3 straight weeks, saying that Derek Carr is going to show up in preseason and he doesn't have to be there, and I'm reading into it too much. And it's not a big deal that he hasn't been here. It's not a big deal he hasn't met the coaching staff. Like sometimes you got to read in between the lines, And these were pretty obvious, I think. So I'm not surprised at all that he's not playing for the Saints. I'm absolutely shocked that he retired. Absolutely shocked that he retired. I thought it'd be a release or a trade or something. I didn't think he'd retire. Protein shake in hand, post-workout, sending good vibes to my Saints friends, the good energy that this news deserves. Crafty, what flavor protein? What brand protein? I've been doing MRE Light from Redcon. I love it. What are you suckling on? Pause. Ty Harley has to get a GM job soon. There's no way Mickey... Hey, chat. I hate to say it. Well, I'd love to say it, but I know y'all hate to say it, but you got to give Mickey credit. You got to give Mickey credit. True or false? True or false? Watch the Saints go snatch Aaron Rodgers now. The Saints are Gucci. Saints are Gucci. Like, as far as quarterback, they got their 3 guys. They got Shough, they got Rattler, they got Haener. And now it's going to be Rattler versus Shough, Hell in the Cell, ladder match, Jake Haener on a pole match, whatever. Best man win. That's it. So... Mickey pulled a Triple H and worked us, yeah. Mickey done did it. Again, I use the organic plant-based right now, but I loaded up with some frozen fruit and creatine. I was using the pea protein for a while, pause. I didn't like it. I didn't think it did much. Heard that Mickey wants Shough to start. Yeah, Mickey drafted him. Yeah, I bet he does. Yeah. Hey, spoiler, I heard Mickey wants Kelvin Banks to start too. Bring Teddy B to replace Haener. Haener, they're on cheap deals. Like, you got the cheapest quarterback room in the NFL, for better or for worse. $50 million in cap, more than that. Maybe a Ramsey or Samuel Jr. Go get Keenan Allen too. F it. You can, like I said, you can kind of do what you want. You can kind of do exactly what you want. What does this mean cap wise? We get $30 million back. We get $30 million back from the deal. We recoup $30 million. Is how you can kind of phrase it. Derek Def did Saints a solid. I think they both did each other a solid. I think Derek knew that he wasn't getting the $30 million, and I think he knew, like, if he tried to keep it, it would go into arbitration or whatever it is, and it would probably get taken back. So I think the Saints said, look, we won't go after the $10 million roster bonus, because remember, Derek was given $10 million, a $10 million check to be on the roster on March 12th, right? So I think the Saints slid him that check and said, take this and head to Fresno. And he said, all right, I'm not. So I think they both kind of did each other a solid. We actually have money to spend. I can get used to this. We're a year ahead of schedule as far as the money. We're a year ahead of the schedule. 2026 was supposed to be the first year we were like salary cap rich, I guess. And then 2027 was supposed to be like, damn, we've got like hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Now we're way ahead of schedule. We've got whatever it is, $60 million. And 2026 will be better. 2027 will be even better than that. Have you ever had anybody recognize you in public? Yes. Yeah. And I always appreciate it. Yeah. I just last weekend, Sunday, I was walking around the French Quarter and talked to a guy, super nice guy, and right by the Sanger, right by that area. I talked to him for a little while. We talked about Shedeur Sanders, talked about Shough. Yeah, always appreciate it. Super nice guy. Yeah. Let's see. Smash the like button. There you go. I actually feel much better about the season. I mean, like, obviously short term, short term, Derek Carr would have been, like, if he plays just on the field, yeah, he's probably the best option at quarterback. But long term, yeah, this is great. Like, long term, this is what the Saints needed. And by long term, I mean like this year, like next year. Not even like super long term. Just moving forward. Like, this is better. This is the best thing that could happen for the Saints to move forward. The Saints are the most, like, new, I guess the only way you can say it, team in the NFL now. Youngest coaching staff in history. Brand new offensive staff. Brand new defensive staff. Rookie quarterback. Second-year backup quarterback. 9 rookies. Like, this is a crazy time to be a Saints fan. And been saying, this is the most exciting time to be a Saints fan besides the second Drew Brees walked in here. That's just where we're at. Straight up. Like, this is as good as it gets for just pure excitement, rip the Band-Aid off, feeling good, feeling new, all that stuff. I mean, he didn't want to have surgery, but that was probably the only way he'd be able to throw again. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it kind of sounds like he didn't want to have surgery. And the surgery doesn't always take. You know, like, if you remember the surgery Cam Newton had, you know, he drops back, gets hit, his arm gets pulled back, he blows out whatever, you know, in his arm, in his shoulder, he has to have surgery, and he can never really throw again. Like, when Cam came back, he could barely even get his arm over his shoulder. Y'all remember how he would, like, throw kind of like under. His arm slot totally changed. So it doesn't always work. You know, Peyton had a couple surgeries. Peyton lost the feeling in his hands. He couldn't really throw at the end of his career. So, I mean, the surgery doesn't always happen or doesn't always work. You know, so I think Derek probably looked at his hundreds of millions of dollars and his $10 million check and his YouTube channel and whatever, and he said, you know what? I'm not doing all this. I'm not doing the surgery. I'm not rehabbing. All for what? Like, to be a backup next year, maybe? So I don't blame him. You think the Saints were waiting for this to be done before signing the available free agents? I don't think they were waiting for this to be done. I think they were just taking their time, letting it play out. So I don't think they were waiting, like, for this exactly to happen. But now, I mean, yeah, you can certainly make a splash if you want to. Thanks, James. Wish you and the Saints the best. It's back to the Raiders for me. Waiting for Carr to sign as a backup and retire there. I mean, I could see him doing like a one-day contract and retiring there. I don't know the rules though. So that does get a little controversial because I'm not sure if I don't think you can retire and unretire like within a certain time period. I think you have to stay retired for at least like a year. I don't think you can retire like once every 3 months. So he might have to be retired for a year, unretire, sign with the Raiders, re-retire. There's got to be, because this is like official. This isn't just him saying it. This is official. The NFL is, you know, the paperwork is there. The contracts, the roster, like all that's affected. So I don't think you can do it that flippantly, but I wouldn't be surprised if one day he retires with the Raiders. For sure. Let's see. What's this question about the center? James, what's your opinion on the Saints not signing a center from undrafted free agent class? I personally think we should have snagged 1 or 2 to compete for the second string job because of Eric. I don't. The way I look at when I look at injury, I don't think you can ever factor in injuries. Like I don't think you should ever factor in injuries. I don't think you should ever like plan for injuries because then you're wasting a roster space or you're wasting a draft pick or you're wasting a whatever if that injury never happens. I think you're better off if the injury happens then just go get somebody. Just like we did last year with Connor McGovern and we moved some people around. So I wouldn't have drafted anybody to be there just in case McCoy gets hurt. I wouldn't factor that in whatsoever. I think people look at injuries and account for injuries way too much. I think it's just like, if it happens, If it happens, it kind of happens. It'd be like saying like the Bengals should draft a quarterback because Joe Burrow gets hurt all the time. It's like, well, if Joe Burrow gets hurt, you're probably cooked anyways. Like, it doesn't matter, like it doesn't matter if you have a drafted backup or whatever. Adding to that, do you think he did this to do us a solid and goes through surgery in the offseason and returns to a different team? No, I don't think so. There we go. Boom. Jeremy Randazzo, $5, second line at Chipotle. Man, Jeremy, you are killing it. You got to tweet this out. Dude, you got to tweet this out. Jeremy, I'm going to start tweeting these out if you don't. These are fantastic. Didn't Brady retire and unretire? I don't think he did. You got to be really, like, okay, again, it's a very, you can't just, like, flippantly retire. So, like, I thought Carson Palmer retired whenever he was doing his stuff with the Bengals, but he actually never did retire. He was under contract with the Bengals, and then that all ended, right? So to truly retire, put in the paperwork, all of that stuff, that is a totally different thing than saying you will retire or holding out or any of that. So yeah, I don't think Brady ever did retire. Yeah, he just went to the Bucs. Do you think, this is from Axel, do you think Kellen Moore and Mickey knew this before the draft? I don't think so. No. According to the press release, this all happened late March. So I think they probably knew Derek was hurt. Oh, let me back that up. I think at the draft, they knew he wasn't going to play anymore. Whether it was because he was going to hold out and have the surgery, whether it was because he might get released, all of that. But I don't think they ever thought he's going to retire. So, let's see here. Hope Mike Thomas gets a workout and makes the team again. Look, I say this all the time, and nothing against Mike Thomas, but I think it's good for Saints fans to just move on from everything. Like, the more we hear about, like, Peyton Turner and Marcus Davenport and Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael and Michael Thomas and Devery Henderson and Lance Moore, like, we got to just kind of move forward and get Kellen Moore's guys. Like, enough of the Michael Thomas stuff, enough of the Marcus Colston, Jimmy Graham stuff. Like, we don't need to find the next Jimmy Graham. You know what I mean? Like, we just need to find the next whatever, the next Kellen Moore tight end, the next. We don't need to find, like, who's the next Pierre Thomas? Who cares, right? Like, who's the next Kellen Moore running back? That's what I'm focused on. So I wish them all the best, obviously, but you got to kind of, like, if we're going to go forward with this new era with the Saints, which is what we are doing, then we gotta actually do that. You know what I mean? We got to actually let go of Zach Bond and Trey Hendrickson and Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael and Jarius Byrd and Eli Apple and Michael Thomas. And we got to let go of those guys. And we got to just say, like, who's the next group of guys, right? That's how I look at all of that. So, so I would rather just find Kellen Moore's guys. Jacob Stanford. Hold up. Jacob Stanford. Oh, wait. Jordan Naramore, $2. Who do you think we should sign now with the money? I think you got to look at a wide receiver. Jacob Stanford. Does he get all of his contract money if he retired? No. We get $30 million back. He gets $10 million. Do you think they should go get Keenan Allen? I think Keenan Allen would be I think Keenan Allen's worth a look. Yeah. Keenan Allen's only issue is that his only issue is if he can stay healthy. As Falcons fan, this is going to be easy to destroy the ain't. This is something else. Is this a riddle? As Falcons fan, this is going to be easy to destroy the ain't Saints and take over their trap. I feel like I just read some, like, William Faulkner or something. That was nuts. Wouldn't be mad with Cooper. he can unretire anytime the Saints hold his contract, similar to the SP situation. Is there a chance Carr never fractured his wrist during the Giants game? It was a shoulder injury all along. When Carr got up after that fall, he was holding his shoulder. I mean, maybe. I mean, like that kind of stuff, like we'll never know. I don't think it really matters, but you know, who knows? Who knows? Do you think they should look at Hendrickson? I mean, same thing we just talked about. And no, I don't think they should look at Trey Hendrickson. I love Trey Hendrickson. I think he's awesome, but we've got 17 defensive linemen we're rotating in and out. Instead of getting Dennis Allen guys, let's get Brandon Staley guys, right? I saw a chat earlier. I wanted to talk about it. But it said something like, do I have a preference in who wins the starting job? No, I don't. I'm totally indifferent to who wins the starting job, whether it's Rattler or whether it's Shough. Like, I'm not rooting for either one of them. I don't care. Let the best man win. If it's Shough, perfect. I'll root for Shough. If it's Rattler, perfect. I'll root for Rattler. So I'm best man win. That's how I look at it. I mean, you know, like, and we talked about that after the draft, where it's like, I thought it was weird where Saints fans had this line in the sand of Rattler versus Shough, and it's like you know, you just got to kind of wait and see and root for whoever's the starter. You know, like whoever it is who it is. You know what I mean? What's going on with Taysom? He's just still hurt. I mean, he's just rehabbing. He's rehabbing, hurt. You know, Taysom's injury happened in December? It was a horrible injury, so it's going to be, you would think, 10 months, something like that. So maybe he's back middle of the year. Sup, Jimmy, still taking this one in? Yeah, man, it's crazy. Do you think Kellen is even interested in Spencer? Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think that's another thing too. That's another thing too that I think people are kind of overrating. Like yes, there is obviously an advantage to Shough being drafted by Kellen Moore, but I don't think if Rattler beats out Shough, I don't think Kellen's like no. We have to play Shough no matter what. It's like, I think he'd play Rattler. Like, I think he's going to play whoever's better. This is Hayner's team. Yeah. I bet Carr unretires in 2026 for a West Coast team. I hope he does. I mean, you know, if that's what he wants, I mean, I could care less. I could care, you know, if he rehabs, takes a year off, fine. That works for me. It's from Axel, sorry. Does Derek Carr's retirement make the Tyler Shough pick better? I don't think it makes it better. It makes like the pick realized quicker. I think I'll invert the question. I'll answer your question with an inverted question, which is in turn an answer. I think if Derek Carr plays, it would have made the Tyler Shough pick worse. I mean, am I on a different level or what? They said it was a rotator cuff injury. Do you think Haener has a chance to start? Yeah, I think Haener has a chance to start if he goes to the UFL. Or if he plays for like Tulane's intramural team or something. If Jake Haener plays 3-on-3 flag football at Tulane, he's got a chance to start. Or maybe like the Canadian League. But not with the Saints. Not with the Saints. Shedeur, 23 years old. Shough, 25 years old. Good news. You don't get bonus points for being younger in the NFL. Do you feel bad for Carr? No. I don't feel bad for anyone getting I don't feel bad for anybody getting $200 million to play a kid's game. No, I don't feel bad for him. And I don't think anybody should feel bad for him. Guy was a starting quarterback in the NFL for 11 years. I mean, it is what it is, you know. James, Do you think game one Shough is a starter? Do you think it's 100% decided, or could I think it's up in the air? I think it's totally up in the air. I think from right now moving forward, it is a straight up ladder match, Shough and Rattler. Who wins out? I think Carr had decision in his retirement. Yeah, I mean he made. I think he made. Yeah, I mean he made the complete decision. This is definitely not a kid's game. It is literally played by kid. Like right now, it's Saturday. I guarantee you, 2 blocks over at the local rec center, there's like little league tackle football being played. Whose jersey do you have on the current roster? I do not have a single jersey. Not a jersey guy. I don't hate the jerseys. I'm not one of those guys who's like anti-jersey. I just don't have any. Don't wear them. They don't fit well. I rock the polos at the games. So, Kellen Moore's press conference is in an hour. Is that real? Shough is a sleeper. Shough won't even be a backup in the league. Shough is literally a backup in the league right now. $9.99 from Lovely. You can always tell when a Falcons fan is trying to talk trash. Falcons IQ is the same as the amount of Super Bowls they won. Wow. Vito in the house, super chat, $2. If the Saints have the first pick, do they go quarterback? Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah. I think any team with the first overall pick in a quarterback laden class, I think is going to take quarterback. Polos and Dome Dogs, that's one way to do it. James, is this the most exciting offseason for the Saints in the past decade? This is the most, 100%. This is the most exciting, interesting, newsworthy season in Saints history since Sean Payton and Drew Brees, yes. Kellen Moore rookie minicamp live on Saints YouTube in an hour. Okay. We'll definitely be covering that. This puts a lot of attention onto Shough's performance at practices. Oh, yeah. Every rep. It's every rep. Every single rep between Rattler and Shough is like must-see TV now. Absolutely. People wanted to rebuild and they got it. I mean, we were rebuilding anyways. It was kind of an organic rebuild. Who's your quarterback one in the up and coming draft? For example, Drew Aller. I'm not a big Drew Aller guy. I watched a lot of Penn State last year. I thought Aller. I can go ahead and tell you this: Aller is the guy. Aller is the guy that you're going to hear like, oh, he's the perfect prototype. He's the size. He's the arm. Whatever. But he doesn't really play quarterback that well. I think Cade Klubnik is the best quarterback in college. If I had to pick one, I think Klubnik is the best quarterback going into this season. We'll see what happens. Like, you got some really versatile guys like Lagway and Sellers, but you know, like you got to see if they can, if that all can work for a season. They certainly, if they put it together, Sellers and Lagway will be way up there. They're nuts. Aller's, like I said, Aller's going to be the arm, the size, but I'm not impressed when I see him actually play the sport. But I think Klubnik is awesome. Clemson will compete for the Natty this year. Yeah, I think so. Like, this is my thing with Nussmeier. Let's say Underwood goes to LSU. Is Nussmeier guaranteed the starter? I don't know. All right, like I don't know. I mean, Underwood might have went out there and beat him out. And so all of a sudden you got a guy who it's like, oh yeah, he's a Heisman, he's the first overall pick. It's like, well, what if he could have not even been the starter, right? So Klubnik is not better than Nuss. Yeah, he is. Let's see here. I love your show, James. You are the most entertaining Saints podcaster around. Keep up the great work. Much appreciated. Yeah, Lagway and Sellers are both like 19. I mean, they're insane. Rattler was a future #1 overall pick once, true. Bryce Underwood is going to Michigan. Yes, he is. We actually did a video on that. If you want to look back at when he announced he was going to Michigan. We did a full breakdown video. It's on the channel. So, let's see here. Let's see. I think Shough has a lot going for him. Rattler does have real NFL experience and has had a year of development, though. Yeah, I mean, that's huge. Like, that's a lot. You know, people, like, that's the conversation around Shough, is that he's got this experience and he's this and he's mature. It's like, well, Rattler's got actual NFL experience, you know? Like, that's something. Nuss is winning the Heisman this year? Maybe. Maybe. Let's see. Nico? Nah. Go look at Nico. Go look at his stats against like top 25 teams. It's horrible. I'm 100% positive Underwood would have been starting. You don't pay a freshman $8 million for nothing. Yeah, I mean, that's a legitimate conversation. You know, like a legit convo is, would Nuss even been starting? And that's an insane thing where it's like, guy could have been a backup or number 1 overall pick. It's like, They're going to regret passing on Shedeur? Who, the Browns? Who, the Steelers? Who, the Giants? Who, the Titans? Who, the Raiders? Who, the Jets? Who, the Colts? Because every single team passed on him for 5 rounds. The Shedeur thing, man, I mean, I get it if he was taking 5 picks after. I get it if he was taking 5 picks after Shough, but dude was taken in the 5th round. It's like saying the Saints are going to pass or regret on passing on Quinn Ewers. It's like, I don't know. I mean, Quinn Ewers is barely drafted, maybe, but I don't know. If Shedeur sucks, then people will say the Browns wasted their pick. I mean, that's anybody though. If anybody sucks, you're gonna get it that it was a wasted pick, you know. Let's see. Let's see. Nuss would have been starting 100%, maybe. Saints need a quarterback like Jaden Daniels or CJ Stroud. Every team in the NFL needs a CJ Stroud or Jaden Daniels. Playing with the Saints on Madden is going to be rough. No, Nuss runs. I mean, Shough runs a 4.6. It's a difference between Shedeur and Quinn. That's not even a conversation. There's actually 2 differences. The 6th. Oh, I guess there's only one. 6th round is the only difference between Shedeur and Quinn. What is the chance 0 to 100 that Michael Thomas comes back? I talked about this earlier. I would say 0. All right, let's do a live video reaction. What do y'all think? You want to do a live video reaction of the ESPN breaking news announcement? Let's do one. Let's do one live. Live with chat. I just subscribed. Thank you. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the best channel on YouTube. All right, here we go. We're doing a live reaction, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. Get excited. Get excited.
SportsCenter, Saints quarterback Derek Carr has retired. As senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler joins us now. He had revealed that he had actually injured his shoulder late in last season, was contemplating surgery. So how did he come to this decision?
Yeah, Hannah, really for the last 5 to 6 weeks, the Saints and Derek Carr have been trying to figure out what's best and how to proceed with this shoulder issue, which tests revealed, as the Saints just said, a labral tear and degenerative damage to his rotator cuff, potentially. So these are major issues.
Yeah, I mean, the degenerative damage is interesting because you wonder if that's been for a long time. You know, again, he has played 11 years in the NFL. The labral tear is new news. You got to wonder, like, why it took so long for this information to come out. And I think it's because of just how late they were to the party of getting this looked at, where if this started in late March, then okay, it makes sense that they might have taken this long to come to a decision of this severity, where it's a bad enough injury to force a retirement. And it's basically what it was. I mean, that's pretty wild, especially when, I mean, that lady on a podcast did say this could possibly happen, but it's kind of insane that the range of options was play in week 1, get traded to another team, or retire. Crazy.
Issues. You imagine trying to throw on that. So really before then, the feeling was like, hey, we restructured his contract. We can move forward with Derek Carr, even though there was some talk about a potential trade at one point that never happened. So it seemed at one point in the offseason he was going to be the quarterback in 2025. So really when he started throwing again.
I also think it's worth mentioning the idea of like, okay, Derek wanted to be traded, right? But there's no way he would have passed a physical. So I'm thinking what happened was he wants to be traded. He starts to ramp up his offseason workout in March, realizes something's wrong, and then the Saints get involved, and then it's like, damn, he's not going to be able to pass a physical, but we have to do something here at the March 12th date to get onto the cap, and then it just spiraled from there. But you know, like obviously now trading him was never a possibility because zero chance he would have passed a physical.
Then he felt the issue.
But then if he doesn't pass a physical, like if it's known he cannot pass a physical, then it's a whole different conversation publicly with the Saints and the Carr situation.
The Saints reported it. They tried to shake this out. You know, I think the Saints in a perfect world hoped that he could maybe rehab to health. It just seems like that was not in the cards. So after 11 seasons, he is retired.
Wow. Big picture looking at his career, how would you describe his legacy?
His legacy? Wow. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, that's an interesting question. It's an interesting question of, like, how do you define a legacy? I think at times Carr was good, like around 2016, all in there. In totality, I would say pretty average. I would say at his best, he was above average, but that's about it. I mean, couple injuries. Yeah, pretty good player sometimes, I think is a good way to put it. Like a pretty good player sometimes. Overall, average to above average.
You know, his legacy is probably underrated in a lot of ways. You know, I've actually recently talked to people with the Raiders and with the Saints, you know, because I was trying to get a grasp of his career because of all the turmoil around what was going on with the Saints and the uncertainty here, which eventually resulted in this. And the feeling was he constantly had different head coaches. He constantly had different coordinators. We saw again, last year he was close with Clint Kubiak, his offensive coordinator. Now Kubiak leaves, Kellen Moore in. He always was dealing with constant change. And really he's viewed as a very talented quarterback, a very good quarterback, maybe not a breakthrough quarterback that got you over the hump. And I think the Raiders felt that, like, hey,
I think he's somewhere in there. And like a like quarterback that doesn't get you under the hump or over the hump, that is kind of just like, yeah, you're just an above average kind of pretty good kind of guy. You know, I've made this case before, and I'm not saying these two players are similar, but I've made the case that Andrew Luck's like not a Hall of Famer. You know, like when you look at what Andrew Luck did in his career, it's like, okay, he was pretty good all the time, but there's not much else there. You know, it's like, yeah, he was respected. He put a lot of numbers, but there's not a whole lot of substance. You know, like Carr played a long time, put up a lot of numbers, but really 2016, that's the year. It's like, okay, that's probably his peak. You know, then he breaks his leg or whatever. And even at his peak, he's still probably just kind of pretty good, you know.
We gave it a run. It just didn't work overall in the end. But very productive player, always a consummate professional. And played, you know, he was a tough guy. He played through injuries. It took this kind of serious injury to eventually knock him out. But most every year he was 15, 16 games in.
Yeah, and through very difficult times with the Raiders, he often had to speak on behalf of the organization and handled that really well. I just want to say they have 3 guys now, right? So they draft Tyler Shough in the second round. They have Spencer Rattler. They have Jake Haener. Who's the next quarterback of the Saints? What's it looking like?
Well, Shough, with his experience, played a lot of years.
I just saw this in chat. Someone said Carr is Dalton. And like Andy Dalton is a kind of, like he's an interesting career to look at as well, because at a time he was pretty good. I don't know if he had the peak that Carr had, but they are kind of a similar guy where like Carr might have done for a little bit longer, but at their peak of their powers, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Are they good enough to win you playoff games? Are they good enough to win you a Super Bowl? No. But they can certainly get you the numbers, keep you in games, make you relevant, whatever. They're professionals, they're whatever, talismans of the franchise, but that's kind of where it all kind of ends. Like that's where it all kind of falls apart. Almost like this guy's a little bit better, but like almost like Dak, where Dak is good. Dak is a talisman. Dak is a franchise guy. Dak can put up numbers. Dak can do all this, but can he lead you to over that hump? Can he lead you to playoff success? Can he lead you to an NFC championship? Can he lead you to a Super Bowl? As of right now, no. If Dak retired right now, Dak would have a ton of stats. He'd have a ton of this. He'd have all these records, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I mean, he was pretty good, but that's it, I guess.
Years in college. He's older, in his mid-20s. He was coveted by a lot of teams in the draft, picked 40th overall. He's got higher billing than, say, Spencer Rattler, who right now would be the backup or maybe the 1A, but he was a 5th-round pick. Some people in the building are high on Rattler as well, so they're going to play this out. It's been interesting, the existence in the Saints quarterback room and offensive rooms lately, because they thought maybe Derek Carr could play, but they really were just talking to him more as a person than they were like game planning. So Carr really hasn't been a part of a lot of the football talks.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it now, like, it's pretty obvious. You know what I mean? Like, when you look at it now, it's like, all right, obviously there was some smoke from Derek not meeting with the offensive staff, with like we were told a million times by Jane Slater and David Carr or whoever else, like, no, it's not a big deal. He's in touch. Things are good, blah, blah, blah. It's not a big deal. It's like, I don't know. It is kind of weird, that he hasn't been around at all. Like, that is kind of off. You know what I mean? And now we know, like, okay, makes perfect sense now.
Late. So it's been like young guys in a quarterback room trying to mold that room together, see what they can do. And Tyler Shough, they're really high on him. Assuming things go well in the next 3 or 4 months, there's no reason why he can't see the field in 2025 because of the...
See the field, brother. What are you talking about? See the field? Now, here's the interesting thing, just from a human level. Who is the leader of that quarterback room? Because Spencer Rattler is going to roll in there and be the leader of that room. Spencer Rattler was there last year. Spencer Rattler started 7 games last year. Spencer Rattler is that kind of guy. So he's going to try and be the alpha. He's going to try and be the dude. Tyler Shough's coming in, totally unknown, rookie, but he's also got to compete to be the starter. And there is no veteran. There's no veteran in the room to be that voice, to be the, like, whatever, the older voice or whatnot. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they handle that, how they handle just the human element of who talks first, who stands up in the meetings, who does all that. That's going to be interesting. And I know Spencer Rattler will absolutely try and be that guy, 100%. So you also got to factor that in, ladies and gentlemen. It will be a competition as far as reps. It will be a competition as far as practice and training camp and all of that. But it's also a competition that we will not see. It's also a competition of who can lead the room, who gets the trust of the locker room, who has the connection with the players, who the offense goes towards, who's picking up the offense faster, who's getting the installation faster. All of that is part of this too. So we can talk about 4-6, we can talk about 6-5. We can talk about the arm talent, whatever, but it just as much, if not more, of this competition is who can be that guy in the actual quarterback room.
The pedigree and the experience he already comes in with.
I mean, not see the field. What about, is this a guy that it's thought could start from week 1?
Yeah, they hope so. I mean, the Saints did a ton of work on quarterbacks in the draft. They looked hard at Jackson Dart, but felt like number 9 overall would be a little high for them where they were picking in the first round. So early second round, they targeted Shough, who has got some arm strength. He's got some major ability.
Yep. All right. Derek Carr ending a career, and we certainly wish him well.
Ending a career. True. Crazy, man. Like, just nuts. Really nuts. This is the Pro Football Talk article. Derek Carr gives up $30 million to retire. After months of awkward chop, the Saints and quarterback Derek Carr managed to figure out a smooth landing. Per a source with knowledge of the situation, I almost just had a stroke there. Carr's retirement comes with an agreement regarding his contract. In a nutshell, he'll give up $30 million in fully guaranteed pay. That was his base salary for 2025, which the Saints opted to convert into a mostly prorated payment in March. But we knew that, right? They did that to get under the cap March 12th. They took that $30 million and turned it into bonuses, pushed it into the next couple of years. Carr keeps the $10 million roster bonus. The Saints will not seek recovery of the remaining $28.5 signing bonus, which he received in 2023. Carr could have undergone shoulder surgery, not played this year, and kept the $30 million and made a decision about his future at some point down the road. Now, this would have come with the Saints going after that money. This would have come with the Saints going after that $30 million, taking Carr to arbitration and all of that, which obviously the two sides agreed, like, let's not do that, okay? This path allows him to delay shoulder surgery, perhaps indefinitely, and avoid the process of recovery and rehab. Even without the $30 million, he had been guaranteed to make this year. The $10 million roster bonus pushes him above $200 million in career earnings. So there you go. So that's kind of that is the money side of it, all right? I wasn't a big fan of Derek Carr as a quarterback. This was a classy move on his part. Could have drugged things out. I think it makes sense for both of them. I think Derek wins because he gets to keep the money, and the Saints win because they get to quickly recoup the money they would have recouped anyway. So I think it was a classy move from both sides. I think they came to an agreement. I think it makes total sense for both sides. So, you know. Let's see. Mickey Loomis got bailed out. I mean, at some point, we got to agree, like, Mickey's kind of crushing. Like, at some point, you got to look around and be like, damn, Mickey's kind of doing the damn thing. You know? Like, the draft class is sweet. Last year's draft class was sweet. The money is sweet. The salary cap situation is sweet. Like, at some point, you got to look around and just say, like, damn, okay, Mickey's doing a good job. Okay, fine. All right. Okay. Good job, Mickey. Wasn't this the best case scenario? Yeah, by far the best case scenario. By far. I've heard multiple people saying the Saints are tanking. Tanking is not real. Tanking is not a real thing. We don't know if these draft classes are sweet. For what they are sweet. Like, we got 9 solid picks. Talise Fuaga is sweet. The salary cap was figured out. The Derek Carr situation benefits the team. Very tricky situation. He nailed the staffing with Kellen Moore, Brandon Staley, all of that. I mean, even like Clint Kubiak last year. Clint Kubiak's awesome. Like, all that stuff. I mean, you got to give the guy credit when credit's due, whether you like him or not. James, does this completely get Carr's dead money out for the 2026? It gets the bonuses out. The prorated bonuses are out. How is tanking not real? Because the players we have so many. We do not have a single piece of evidence of tanking, but we have multiple pieces of evidence of that tanking isn't real. Like when the Texans could have lost their last game to get the first overall pick, they win their last game to get to the whatever pick it was, and Lovie Smith gets fired. The Patriots did the same exact thing. Patriots could have lost their last game, get whatever pick. Gerard Mayo wins the last game, gets fired. Like, the players want to win. The players are on the field. You cannot tank in the NFL like you can in the NBA because you're getting your ass kicked for 4 quarters. You can't just, like, haphazardly run around and just get blown up. Can't do it. So, does the ownership, would they rather lose? Yeah, of course. But that doesn't mean anything for the players. Because in the NBA, it's so easy to tank. You don't play defense, jack up shots, whatever. The Dolphins did not tank. The Dolphins wanted to tank. The owner asked Brian Flores to tank. And the Dolphins, a.k.a. Brian Flores and the players, said, we ain't tanking. The owner said, I'll pay you, whatever it was, $50,000 for every loss. And Brian Flores said, no, I'm not doing it. So the Dolphins is an example that tanking isn't real. When the owner said lose and the coach and players said no. Because why does it benefit the players or the coaches to lose? They're all going to get fired. They're all going to get cut. They're all going to get traded. They don't want a rookie quarterback. They don't want that, right? So there's a mix-up of what the ownership and front office want to happen and what actually do happen or does happen. So, yeah, tanking's fugazi. Joker, $2. Imagine Rattler waking up to find out he's quarterback one. Yeah, right? $1.99. Garrett Nussmeier is the next John Elway / Drew Brees. I always think it's interesting when, like, how about we just start with a good quarterback? You know, like, let's just start off with Garrett Nussmeier's good. Going all the way to John Elway and Drew Brees, a bit much. Players play for their careers. If they're on a contract year, they aren't going to. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. James, it's been real, brother. I'm glad I'm done with the Saints. Just a toxic fan base, and I thought Raider Nation was bad, but I appreciate your videos because you saw through the BS. We don't miss over here. We don't miss. Why Shough over Kyle McCord? I don't know. That's a question for Kellen Moore. I like Kyle McCord. I like Kyle. James, you are undoubtedly the face of the franchise now. No doubt about it. Am I mad? I'm not mad. I'm living life. I'm feeling good. Players want incentive bonuses, too risky to take. Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't happen. Yeah, so I mean, what a crazy day. Crazy day, man. Really interesting stuff. How does this affect the cap for next year? We get $30 million back. 30 milli. 30 milli back. Derek gets to keep his 10 milli. James, other than the quarterback decision, what is the most exciting thing to watch this coming season? What Kellen Moore's offense looks like, what Brandon Staley's defense looks like, the 9 rookies that were just drafted. All of that is very exciting. Very, very exciting. All of that. I mean, it's literally everything. James, really quick, where does Brees rank all time for quarterbacks? 2. I think Brees is the second best quarterback of all time. How long until I announce the Saints draft picks? Mickey knows. Hey, just give me a call. Mickey knows. 12-1 Saints win the division? Where is that at? Last I saw was 7. Oh, it's updated because Carr's. Is that today? 12-1 is worth a look. 12-1's worth a look. Going to celebrate with a Dazzle snake bat at Texas Roadhouse? I don't know what that is, but I like the sound of it. I might go celebrate myself out in the quarter today. What we drinking on today? I usually hit the champs in the morning. I'm a little past the champs. I don't know. I might still pop it. So I might go get a Guinness. Let me get a bloody. We'll see what happens. Does this help Rattler? Yeah. It helps Rattler and Shough because it gives them an obvious line to starting. Rattler, it's 1-on-1. You know, if hand grenades on me, I can't drink a hand grenade. I can't drink that much sugar. No offense to the hand grenades, but same with the Hurricanes. Like Patos, love the Courtyard, but you drink a Hurricane, like that amount of sugar. One red dress run, I drank a purple drink from Lafitte's as I was walking to Patos, and then had a Hurricane at Patos. I think I went into like a diabetic shock. I was cold sweating. I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of sugar I ingested in those 2 drinks. It was too much. So I don't do the sugary drinks. Let's see. What does a successful season look like in terms of wins and losses? I think anything 7 and above. I think 7 and above is like, damn, we really, really overachieved. 5 and below, it's like, or 5 and 6, we're just kind of holding pat. Below 5 is obviously like, okay, what's going on here? This is a problem. Something's not working out. So I would say 7 and up is a win. 5, 6 is net average, and then 4 and below is like, okay, either Shough's not working, or Rattler's not working, or Kellen's not working, or whatever. So that's how I would have it. Most guys, let's see. Man said Trevor Lawrence to New Orleans. No, man. Oh, Jesus. No. Jacksonville can keep that $250 million. James, Saints have 2 best odds to have the fewest wins, but their win total is 6.5. How does that work? Yeah, good question. That's kind of like pseudo arbitrage. Can't really exploit it, I guess. But yeah, that just tells you something ain't adding up. That's what that is. Simply Cash, $5. I just wanted to support the page, bro. Just put it on the front door, walked away, knocked on the door, and ran down the street. I love it. What are the 3 undrafted free agents you are most excited for? I think the wide receiver, what is his name? Donovan Peoples-Jones, something like that. I think any wide receivers you got to be excited about, just because we need wide receivers. Now, granted, we have a lot of cap space now, so, it's like, maybe we'll figure out the wide receiver room with the monies, but if not, it was definitely to see if a wide receiver could step out of that undrafted free agent role and get some playing time. But it's important to remember there's more Hall of Famers that have come from undrafted free agency than the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds in the draft combined. I'm late, but bad take on this being a kid's game. Most people fall in love with football as a kid, but this is def a man's game, and the love grows. So I def feel bad for how it ended for Carr. I'm talking about literally. Talking about like literally, this is a game played by kids. It is obviously a man's game in the NFL, but the actual game itself literally is played by kids, like baseball, like basketball, like tetherball. They are all literally played by kids. So this isn't like it's not a thesis. It's not a thought leadership piece. Like that's just like a literal, kids do play that. Let's see here. Donovan Peoples-Jones is just a free agent, but I got you, brother. But he was invited to the tryouts, right? He's one of the people at tryouts, or that got the invite, right? Let's see here. When am I taking over for Mickey? I heard Schefter on ESPN say I'm next in line. I've always said this, and this might be crazy, but I can say it because I can't prove it. I think if I was in a front office or I was a GM, I think I could get the team to the conference championship within 5 years. There you go. Let's see. I'm a Saints fan that lives in Washington State, and I can't wait for the Saints to come to watch them in my home state. The PNW. Shout out. I have a lot of respect for the PNW. The live stream I've been waiting for. Bro, when if I can't be a starter, I retire. Should have drafted Sanders. I think it's so wild that that's still a talking point. I really do. I mean, the guy was a 5th rounder. 5th rounder. Who would you like to see the Saints try and target at wide receivers available in free agency? I'd like to see Amari Cooper come down and offer a big body. Whew, pause. That is a crazy pause. Damn, that was nuts. That was absolutely nuts. I think Amari Cooper, I think Keenan Allen, like those are guys you're looking at immediately. I'd be fine with either one of them. More of a Keenan Allen guy than an Amari Cooper guy, but I'm hyped for training camp. Every rep. I mean, every snap, every rep is like absolutely must-see TV. If you were GM, what would be your first move as of now, James, after this news? I think you absolutely have. I think Mickey's done a really good job this offseason. I think it's an A+ offseason. Y'all know this. If y'all been watching the channel, I was anti I was anti Mike McCarthy. I was all in on Kellen Moore. I was all in on Brandon Staley as a DC. So those are A+, right? Love the draft class. Love it. Whatever quarterback Kellen Moore wants is fine. But I like all that. I like that we're moving on from Carr, even though it's a retirement or whatever. But I think Mickey has done an A+ job since Dennis Allen was fired. I think he's done an A+ job. Are you a Pels fan too? Yeah, season ticket holder for the last 4 years. Saints fan deployed in Saudi at the moment. Let's see. Carr was not bad. He was not bad. True, he was not bad. Let's see. Rather see Bub Means take the next step instead of paying for an expensive old player. Bub Means would have to take like the next 50 steps to be Keenan Allen. UK Saints fan here. Can't lie, I've never been as hyped for a season. There you go. James Parker, UK Saints fan. My algorithm is nothing but pies and mash. I'm all in on UK culture right now. How good is liquor sauce? Because it looks amazing. I mean, I'm all in on UK culture. Bosh. James, what do you think Spencer Rattler needs to improve on to be a playoff level quarterback? Let's start with starter. Let's start with just being a starting level quarterback. But Rattler's got to be less turnover prone, I think is the first thing he needs. Will Levis is 6'5". Yeah, I mean, the prototypical size and all that stuff only gets you so far. If Carr would have done it before the draft, do we take Dart in round 1? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Ooh, Easy E, $5 for the Dome Dog Fund. Keep the content coming. Saints, please leave the old wide receivers alone. Much appreciated, man. I will get a Dome Dog in your honor, 100%. How can Loomis be hated so much? Yeah, I mean, people just don't like Loomis. People just, I mean, he's just kind of the boogeyman, but I think he's done a really good job. Let's see. Here's our chance to have a young, fresh roster. Yeah, true. Saints quarterbacks versus Panthers, Bryce Young. It's crazy to think like it's going to be Tyler Shough or Spencer Rattler versus Michael Penix versus Bryce Young. Like that's a bunch of unknown, you know? No, I don't think Rodgers is even in the conversation. Would I look into getting a veteran quarterback? No. I would just let these guys battle it out. Loomis destroyed the Saints. I think in the last 25 years, I think the Saints are like 6th in wins. I think the Saints are probably, I would argue the Saints in the last 25 years are probably, or at least definitely the last 20, are probably like a top 5 most successful team in the NFL. Definitely top 10. But I think you can make an argument top 5. Multiple conference championships, a Super Bowl win, top 10 in wins, super relevant for a long time. I don't know if that's considered destroying the Saints, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Let's see. We can move on now. Yeah, I mean, now we can move on. James, what do you think is easier to coach? Bringing interceptions down or someone who has pressure or has trouble with pressure like Shough? I think the interceptions. I think you can coach out seeing the defense develop or learning how to kind of eat the throws or whatever, but feeling pressure and feeling the pocket and all that, I think that's something that quarterbacks struggle with. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. Oh wait, what is that? Oh, Sweden. I didn't know what I just saw. Is that Swedish currency? Is that what SEK is? Unbelievable. Can we get an international applause, ladies and gentlemen? What is the Swedish? Let me see what the Swedish currency is called. I don't want to get this wrong. Swedish krona? Okay. We just got, we got a Let's get an international applause. 100 Swedish krona. Saints fan from Sweden here. What a fantastic day. I watch you every single day when I'm trying to get my baby to sleep. Would you look at that? Keep being the face of the franchise, bro. God, dog. I mean, have you ever heard a more elite comment? Let's say it. I'm going to read it again. Saints fan from Sweden here. This is from Eric Wickholm. Or is it Wickholm? Saints fan from Sweden here. What a fantastic day. I watch you every day when trying to get my baby to sleep. Would you look at that? Keep being the face of the franchise. I tell you what, that baby is about to be the smartest football fan of all time. If he's listening to me while he's going to sleep, my God. Eric, unbelievable. Thank you very much. You made my day. Sans 82, $5. Slipped it under the door. Keep up the good work, James. Love your content. No doubt. Much appreciated. Thank you very much for watching. Okay, let's check out chat again. Let's keep it rolling. I guess people hate on Mickey because he is delusional and thought that Dennis Allen was a good coach. Like that's a good example too. Like think about that situation. Okay, Dennis Allen at that time is probably the best defensive coordinator in the NFL. Sean Payton leaves. So you're probably thinking like, well, Dennis Allen is at that point a very sought after DC. So the idea of like, let's give him a chance, see how it goes. And then it doesn't work out and he fires him, whatever it is, 2 years later. It's not like he held on to it for 10 years. I don't blame him at all for letting Allen get the shot. And then when it didn't work, he fired him. Like, even that is an example of, like, okay, yeah, I think he handled it pretty well. What do we want Chase Young to do? Get sacks? Sacks are kind of an overrated statistic, but I think Chase Young was pretty good last year. Pretty good. Let's see. Morning call over Cafe du Monde, not even close. There you go. Let's see. James, do you think going after Asante Samuel Jr. would be a good move? I mean, stud, for sure. Shucks throwaways are crazy, almost 10%. Yeah, that is a crazy number. I think it's like 8.5% or something like that of his throws or throwaways. That is wild, for sure. For sure. Next move in the quarterback room, maybe Wentz over Haener. I think they just kind of let it play out. I do. Let's see. My guy, I'm elated. Not even sure I spelled it right. Don't care. James, my man, this is the Cat's Pajamas. Bangers and mash with thick onion gravy and mint sauce. Now we're talking. Can't wait for the Saints to come to the UK. Yeah, I keep seeing liquor sauce, like the parsley sauce, and man, it looks good. Awesome job. You have the best Saints content out there. True. Why am I just now getting your Noti live? It's unbelievable. YouTube's doing to the superstar. How legit do you think the quarterback battle is? I see a lot of people Shough is the guy. I think it's 100% a true quarterback battle. Any tips for 7-on-7 flag football offense-wise? Yes, run mesh. Mesh concepts, super simple. Just dink and dunk. Non-stop mesh, non-stop crossing routes. Keep it simple. Just beat the corner. Boom. Quarterback puts it on him. Kamara looks better than before, like every year. Yeah, I mean, Kamara would have went over 1,000 yards if he doesn't get hurt at the end of the year last year. Gail Benson fired DA, not Mickey Loomis. Like that's another thing Loomis deals with. It's like Sean Payton is the reason for the success of whatever. Gail Benson is the reason for this success. You know, Sean Payton had these draft classes, but Mickey had the bad ones. Mickey got lucky by signing Drew Brees. Mickey got lucky by finding Sean Payton. It's like, damn. At a certain point, like, this guy's getting lucky a lot. I mean, Mickey needs to go to the casino. Will Moore have favoritism? No. I mean, I don't think. Why would he have? I think he's got like. He probably, you know, he just scouted Shough and all that stuff, but it doesn't benefit Moore at all to not play the better player. You know. Nobody Nola happier than Jake Haener right now. Yeah, true. Yeah, Haener just got lucky. The MF and face of the franchise just read my comment. Boom. Let's see. He had Drew and Sean Payton. This is the Brady versus Bill conversation. Mickey passed on Dan Campbell for Dennis Allen for 4 straight years. Shit. I mean, the Saints defense was insane for the entirety of Dennis Allen's time as a DC. Like, you can't blame him in that situation. And exactly like what I'm talking about. He had Drew and Sean Payton. He signed Drew and Sean Payton. It's not the Brady versus Bill conversation. It's like saying Bob Kraft or Tom Brady. Right? It's like Bob Kraft is the one who, like, it's not Sean Payton versus Drew Brees, obviously Belichick versus Brady. But Loomis is just the guy putting the show together. You know, like, he didn't have, like, Sean Payton didn't just walk into the door one day and all of a sudden Mickey's like, hey, who are you? You know, like, I bet Matt's getting crunk with this news. When you think about it, this is the worst case scenario for Matt, right? Because now there's no more Carr content. So, in a certain way, content dries up. Let's see. And who looks beyond the results? We just talked about that. The results are top 10 over the last 2 decades. Super Bowl win, multiple conference. Like, the results are sweet. By retiring, Carr forgoes the $30 million guarantee this season. The Saints won't seek reimbursement for the $10 million. Why wouldn't they? Because I think the Saints and Carr kind of agreed. Because Carr could have had surgery and kept the $40 million, and then the Saints would have had to go to arbitrage and do all that. So I think they both just agreed, like, you keep your 10, we'll keep our 30, whatever. James, I love you. Thank you for all that you do for the Saints fan base. Thank you. Thank you for watching. You even nailed the pronunciation of my name. It's Vikholm. I knew it. People forget this. Not that this has anything to do with Sweden, but people forget I was a foreign language minor in college. I'm on a whole different level. Use that money for another wide receiver. Yeah, true. Saints need to burn sage now to get all the stench of DA and Carr out of the dome. It's Jay Kaner's world, and we're just living in it. I love it. Can we just look over how much of a 180 this offseason has been on the franchise from the beginning of last season? Insane. Like, think about that. Dennis Allen's the head coach. Derek Carr is starting, like, Clint Kubiak's the OC. It's insane what else happened. James, what do you feel like the Saints' next move would be with all the money they're about to receive? I think it's got to be a wide receiver. New Pope already performing miracles, yeah. James is the best of Saints media. You'll get your flowers soon enough. I'm sitting on top of the rating. I'm happy as a clam. Most watched, most viewed, sitting on top of the ratings. Top dog in the market. So I feel like I've already got my flowers. So I get support from all you guys. I get support on every video. I get to have these conversations with y'all. I get to read the comments, all that stuff. So I feel like I've got my flowers. Let's see. Rattler needs to have that Sam Darnold season in Minnesota. Could absolutely happen. Could absolutely happen. He high-key did us a favor. I think both Carr and the Saints did each other favors. Like, the Saints could have cooked Carr. They could have said, we're not giving you that $10 million. We're going after that, whatever. And Carr could have said, okay, well, I'm staying on the roster. Put me on the IR. Pay me. It could have been really messy. But I think both sides did each other favors. Without DA, there's no Super Bowl, so we got to put some respect on his name. Welcome back, Michael Thomas. Nah. James the best. DC doesn't deserve that $10 million. $5 Skater. Sorry, just joined in case y'all talked about it already. How does this affect his contract and the money we owe? Skater. We get back $30 million. So we save $30 million. How do I pronounce your last name? Skrmetta. Skrmetta, just like it looks. Skrmetta. Yeah. SKR, Skr, Meta, Meta, Skrmetta. Bam. Young Saints fans got no clue of the history. Carr fans or Hainer fans. Rattler or Shough, whoever wins, I just hope they win. There you go. Flowers are for the dead. This is a hell of a quote. Damn. This is a hell of a quote. Flowers are for the dead. Somebody needs to write you a check. Damn. That was real. TJ Jones rap songs are lit. So I told TJ this, but when I was on his show, I love his intro song, like the music or whatever. Like I listen to it unironically. Like I listen to it sometimes. Like I'll just like go pull up one of TJ's videos just to hear the intro song. So, and I told him that when I was on the show. Yeah, TJ's great. Joking about Jake Hainer, I'm 9 gin and tonics deep and having a laugh. I respect that. I respect that. It's noon. I love it. Man, speaking of gin, you start getting involved in them damn French 75s. You talk about that gin will take you to a different place. You could do stand-up. I'm learning and laughing. Great content. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. My favorite stand-up, I'll give y'all my top 3 stand-up specials of all time. Unprovoked, unannounced. One, I won't rank them. But Kevin James, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. Or maybe it's Sweat the Small Stuff, one of the two. Dave Chappelle, Killing Them Softly. And then Sinbad, Afros and Bell Bottoms. Top 3. That's my top. I really like Dane Cook's Vicious Circle too. I'll keep my 3. But I like Dane Cook a lot too. Let's see. How do the books look in 2026 with the Carr retirement? I think they'll drop the win total probably back to 5.5, which, I think is understandable. They'll probably raise the divisional prices and all that. I'll tell you what the number is that you need to pay attention to is the Kellen Moore Coach of the Year. Because if Kellen can get the win total to like 7 or 6 with Tyler Shough or Spencer Rattler, I think he wins Coach of the Year. So if he's at like 12-1, 14-1, 16-1, 20-1, I think you got to play Kellen Moore's Coach of the Year number. NC 199 is Tulane, the best G5 program of all time. I do love me some Tulane, man. It's a good time to be a Tulane fan. Tulane's relevant in every sport. Their jerseys are sweet. Their merch is awesome. The little wave is crazy. So it's a good time to be a Tulane fan. $10 from the Voodoo guy. Who dat? Everyone who hates on Loomis this offseason needs to eat some crow gumbo. I'm taking 7.5 over. 7.5. It won't be that high. It won't be 7.5. Is Pimpin' by Cat Williams? That's a good one. That's a really good one. Really good one. Eddie Murphy Raw. Man, I tell you what. You talk about aged poorly. Eddie Murphy's stuff, especially Raw, aged horribly. Bill Hicks. Yeah, Bill Hicks is good. Norm Macdonald's a goat. I like Norm better on like his podcast and late night stuff. His stand-up is good, but I think Norm is better just kind of off the cuff. Official Silk, $10. Really excited for Rattler, but if Shough puts belts to asses, wouldn't mind it either. Being from upstate New York, there you go. Seeing how Josh Allen changed football here, can't wait for that for us. Yeah, I mean, whether it's Rattler or Shough, I will say, though, I don't think Shough and Allen are similar at all. I think Shough is more similar like Justin Herbert. Bernie Mac is one of my favorites. Yeah, love Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac's one of my favorite for sure. His I'm not scared of y'all. That's not a special, but that set is legendary. I'll listen to it all the time. I love your show, James. Awesome YouTube commentator. Thank you, Grudy. Do you think Carr thanks New Orleans before Anthony Davis? He already did. He thanked him in his quote or whatever. I wonder if Moore came here for Carr. No. Not like Shough broke his femur. It was collarbones and an ankle. I think it was his fibia. Wasn't it 2 collarbones and his fibia? 100% agree about Norm being funnier. Yeah. I think Norm. I agree. I think Norm was one of the, if not the funniest mind to ever live. Norm was a legitimate genius. Norm is like one of my, I don't want to say mentors. I've never met the guy, but he is one of my, like someone who I modeled a lot of my style or whatever was after Norm Macdonald. Especially if you go and watch a lot of my older videos when I was doing like kind of like a weekend update kind of style. Very similar. I'm not scared of you, mofo. Yeah, that was an insane set from Bernie Mac. Shout out to the face of the franchise, keeping me going at work. There you go. Let's see. If you could trade for any player right now, who would it be? Oh, realistically? I had to think about that one. The realistically part. James, Derek Carr should retire. Did his before he got his signed contract. Well, he signed his contract 2 years ago. Like, obviously, he's not going to retire then. And he didn't re-sign his contract this year. That was a restructure that had nothing to do with Carr. Would you bring back Michael Thomas? No, I would not. I think you gotta, again, guys, like I know Scary just popped in here, but I think you gotta move on from like the only way to move forward is to forget about the past. Like, Kellen Moore's here, not Sean Payton. You know, like, Brandon Staley's here, not Dennis Allen. So, we just got to kind of move forward with Kellen Moore's guys, young guys, reset it, quit trying to dig up the old, Saints kind of lore. It's time for the new guys. I always use this comparison, but anytime you go into a bar or a restaurant or whatever, you always see like newspaper clippings or pictures or whatever of like, Jimmy Graham and Marcus Colston and Breeze and whoever. We got to find like the new group of people who are going to be in that picture. It's not trying to like cosplay as Michael Thomas or cosplay as Jimmy Graham or cosplay as whoever. It's more about like, who's next? You know what I mean? Like, who's the next? What are they doing? What does that look like? That's how I look at it. Let's see. Let's see. It's so hard to not watch your videos, James. Sometimes I got to hold off for a few hours or the withdrawal starts to kick in. Damn. Might be a comment of the day. Might be a comment of the day right there. Well, I'll tell you what, we put out enough content. I can't imagine there's too much downtime. We put out a crazy amount of content. Let's see. Mark Norman, Theo Vaughn. I like Mark Norman. Theo's another one where I think he's funnier, kind of like on podcast, not so much stand up. Not that that's a knock. I think he's just funnier off the cuff. Norman is like legit. He's an old school comic. Norman's legit. Then we need to put the Cooper and Allen shit to bed. Well, I mean, that's totally different. Like, they didn't play for the Saints. Like, Allen might be what Moore is looking for, Tayden, super chat, $2. Carr is officially out of gas. Woo, baby. Let's see. Josh Gordon is wild. That's a wild pull. It's a wild pull. Let's see if there's been any more Derek Carr talk. At least we know now the direction we're going. Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's see. Let's go to latest. Let's see if we have any more news. Let's see. This is nuts from Bobby Griffin. With Derek Carr retiring, the Saints need to call Aaron Rodgers, brother. Where you been, my guy? Where you been? Can't wait for the Car Bros car reviews. Oh, I can't wait. Homegrown Network just got must-see TV. Absolute must-see TV. $1.99 Shough time from Taden. True, Shough time. What does his retirement mean for the cap? Do we save the 10 mil like we would have had we cut him? We saved the 30 mil. So the money that was restructured into the future, a la genius Mickey Loomis, we get that back. Hey, James, can I get a who MFN dat from Ray Thomas? There you go. Am I a Saints fan? Yeah. Yeah, I'm a Saints fan. Wayne. $10. That 4 going to look better on Devin Neal. Boom. Can't wait for Kellen Moore's interview later on today to see what he says. Yeah, me neither. I mean, I think they'll keep it. Like, they're going to keep it. Like, here's the deal. The Saints are going, they're hush-hush, right? And they're not going to say anything about this. They're going to wish Derek the best. They're going to thank him for what he did for the team. They're going to whatever. They're going to move on with that. And then Tyler Shough is in rookie minicamp. Like, him and Rattler are not competing yet. So there's only so much the Saints can say today. It's more about Shough versus Rattler. Do you think Mickey Loomis knew he was retiring? Nah. I think they knew. I think they knew that he wasn't going to play, but I don't think they knew he was going to retire. But I think they definitely knew a while ago that he wasn't playing. Any position other than wide receiver you think we should still look for in free agency? Nah. I mean, nah. I think, I think right now you kind of can chill. I thought Mekhi Becton would have been interesting when it all started, like when free agency started, but I think you're okay with checking how Penning can do at left guard and all that. When does the competition start? Preseason? Training camp, OTAs, all that. Let's see. There's a lot of people in chat for the face of the franchise. Yeah, for the draft. What did we do for the draft? Like 3,000? I think it was 3,000 people in here for the draft. What are we looking at? Michael Thomas. This, when Michael Thomas sounded off against Derek Carr, this was AI, not me. That's it. Yeah, Michael Thomas, relatively quiet. Relatively quiet. Just kind of talking about Lil Baby's world tour, and that's it, really. Not too much. Not too much for Mike. Let's see. Hainer time? No. We need a solid linebacker who can cover tight ends. I think the linebacker room is pretty solid. I mean, Stutzman, Werner, Davis, it's pretty nice. I like Stutzman a lot. James, Saints are happy? Yeah, Saints fans are pretty happy right now. Tanking is real. The Dolphins got caught doing it, so it does happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'll say this again. The Dolphins is an example of why tanking doesn't exist, because the ownership asked the coach to tank and asked the coach to lose, and the coach said no, and the players said no, and the Dolphins did not tank. So the Dolphins is actually maybe the best example of why tanking is not real. We're sweet at linebacker. Yeah, I mean, I think Stutzman, Davis, and Werner are sweet. James took the tanking bait. Yeah. The tanking is one of those things that, like, there's a few things that I think is like, it's kind of popularized, like even like hospital balls and all that stuff. And every time I hear it, it's just like I just like get triggered. I can't let it go. Dark Revenant, what a name. $10. Got all my Saints gear on, partying till I drop Rattler time. God, I love that. I love that. I like Stutzman, yeah. I hope Bub Mean steps up. We'll see. We'll see. But I think Stutzman, like, his athletic profile is insane. I mean, he is a freak athlete. It's insane that he fell. It really is. If tanking was real, why did the Giants get the 6? Yeah, I mean, like, why did the Texans win their last game to not get the first overall pick when Lovie Smith was the coach? Why did the Patriots win Gerard Mayo's last game? Like, all those. I mean, there's a million examples. Derek Carr's family come into my work all the time in NOLA. Wonder if they will stay in NOLA. Brother, they will never be back in the state again. They will never be back in Louisiana. They bought a house in Fresno. They are in Fresno. They have been in Fresno. They ain't never coming back to Louisiana. $5 from King Eternal. My girlfriend works at the Mall of Louisiana. Where's that? Lakeside? Where shopping meets fun? I got word Breeze will be at the new Dick's Sporting Goods opening up. I will attempt an autograph. There you go. Underhill tweet. Nicholas? We got some good stuff from Nicholas. This right here? Yeah, guys, get in there. Use the code NOF. Save 20% on your first payment. No doubt. This is the time to be alive. No one does it as far as like a beat reporter, as far as covering the team. New Orleans Football is setting the standard. So, yeah, if you're thinking about joining, use that code. Get your 20% off. Always support the boys over there. Okay, let's see what Nick says here. Derek Carr retires, new era begins.
Derek Carr is...
Let's take a look and let's take a listen, huh? Here we go. Ready?
Hey, what's up, guys, out here at the Saints for today's rookie camp, and obviously the big...
First of all, Hero Ball, Saturday. Where's Nick? Airline Drive. Okay? He's at the facility. Unbelievable scenes.
News of the day is that Derek Carr is retiring. Kind of comes out of nowhere. Didn't see this one coming, and that brings an end to his tenure with the Saints. Now, there's going to be a lot said and
yeah, I mean, a lot of speculation. Obviously, it's going to be a lot of people saying, is he actually hurt? Did he retire just because he couldn't play? Whatever. I'll tell you this. All that doesn't matter. Like, all that is irrelevant. All that is whatever. Fact of the matter is, it's a clean break for the Saints and for Derek Carr. And that's all you can ask for. So, wish him the best, whatever. Don't care. But, yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's kind of crazy because we've talked about Derek nonstop for 2.5 years because he is the highest paid player. He's a franchise quarterback. He's whatever. And now it's just poof. It's just poof, gone. By this time next week, we won't be talking about Derek Carr at all. He's off the team. There's no connection. There's no, stones left unturned. So it's certainly wild.
a lot thought about how that era went, but the important thing now is that it is over and the Saints are going to be able to move forward knowing that Tyler Shough or Spencer Rattler is going to be their quarterback one next year. We're about
or Jake Haener. Pepe giggle. Yeah, I mean, it's 50-50 now. And like I said, Rattler, there is something to be said about a guy who was the number one prospect coming out of high school, who was the favorite to win the Heisman, the favorite to be the number one overall pick, who was the starter at Oklahoma being coached by Lincoln Riley. He is an alpha, won the Elite 11 competition. Like, Spencer Rattler is an alpha quarterback. he is given the opportunity now to go win the job and be a starter. Spencer Rattler is absolutely not the guy that's going to sit back and go down quietly and let Tyler Shough win this competition. So, I mean, this is Rattler's moment. And so anyone that thinks that Tyler Shough is just going to walk in and be the starter from day one, Tyler Shough is going to have to win this competition. And Spencer Rattler is going to give it everything he's got to win it on his own right.
To get our first look at Shough out here at practice at rookie camp, and it takes on a whole different meaning knowing that this has come to a conclusion, and I think it's probably the best way that it could have ended.
Yeah,
the Saints aren't going to have to pay out all that money from the restructure. Derek Carr is going to walk away with about $10 million.
Yeah, from both sides, absolutely beneficial how it played out. We saved $30 million. Carr gets to keep his $10 million. Everyone gets to kind of save face. Carr doesn't have to go through surgery and rehab if he doesn't want to. You know, the Saints don't have to deal with arbitration, don't have to deal with any of this. It's just straight up over. Like, by far the greatest thing that could have happened as far as like this situation within itself. Trading him wasn't a possibility. Him going on IR, having surgery, Saints having to deal with that would have been a disaster. So, yeah, this is perfect for both.
From his roster bonus, the Saints will get the $30 million back on June 2nd. Carr retires, and whatever money is left, and it's still a significant amount, it gets split over 2 years. But now that creates some cap relief. And if
again, like, it just goes to show how dumb salary cap hell and all that stuff is. The cap is fugazi. It's always been fugazi. So all of this, like dead cap this, dead cap that, bonuses this, Saints cap hell that. Think about how fast it's over. Like, think about how fast, like, oh, the Saints are in cap hell. Boop. Okay, we're good. Saints are good. We're done. There's no more cap hell. This year, we have money. Or right now, we have money. Or June 2nd, we have money. Next year, we have money. 2027, we got money. So, okay. That was fun. Like, all right. All that cap hell stuff that we've heard for the last however many years. See ya.
The team wants to go out and sign some other players, they can do that now. And there's still some guys out there that I think could help this team. There's some wide receivers out there. There's some cornerbacks out there. Those are both positions of need for this team, I think. And now the Saints can afford to make a move.
Yeah, I mean, you go get Jalen Ramsey, you go get Asante Samuel, you get Keenan Allen. Like, those are big-name guys. And you bring one of them in here, all of a sudden that changes things, right? Like, all of a sudden now. But, again, guys, like, think about how fast it changes in the NFL. Literally 2 weeks ago, we had people saying secondary or defensive backs or cornerback is a weak spot for the Saints. We should have paid Paulson Adebo $50 million coming off of an injury. And now, potentially, we could be sitting here looking at, Riley, Yadam, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alante Taylor, Jalen Ramsey. It's like, well, actually, I guess we're good. Like, oh, safeties. You got Sanker, you got Justin Reed, you got Tyrann Mathieu. Oh, well, guess we're good. Like, it changes that fast. That fast. That's why you can't just, like, copy and paste the same, like, oh, salary cap hell. Oh, secondary's bad. Oh, defensive backs are bad. Like, it's all so fluid, and, man, it can change quick. 2 years ago, what were we saying? 2 years ago, we were saying the Saints had the worst offensive line in football. Now, the Saints have a young offensive line, and the best part of the Saints team is their offensive line. Crazy. Absolutely insane how fast it is.
If they want, or they can just continue to lean all the way into this youth movement and keep going forward with the rebuild. But the deck is now cleared with this situation put to bed. So I think it's a win-win for both sides. Derek Carr walks away. The Saints don't have to pay him too much money. And now the team can start over.
I mean, it's fantastic. Like, honestly, it's even good for Carr. Like, it's even good for Derek to just be done with the Saints stuff. Because it was toxic. He heard the noise. I'm sure he was watching the videos, whatever. And I'm sure Carr is done or happy to be done and put that behind him. I'm sure Carr is thrilled that he can just be done with that chapter of his life. And he can just go to Cali and drive the Rolls-Royce Spectre and not worry about it. Like, good for Carr. He doesn't have to worry about statements or tiptoeing or dancing around interviews. He can just do what he wants. So, Now, he probably should apologize to the lady on the podcast who was right the entire time, but it is what it is, right? Jane Slater might want to go back and get her sources, a.k.a. David Carr, checked, but it is what it is, right? Not everybody can be a former reporter at a Pulitzer Prize-winning newspaper. It is what it is, but Saints fans should be dancing. And that's another reason why, like, holding on to Dennis Allen PTSD or holding on to Pete Carmichael PTSD or holding on to Marcus Davenport PTSD or Peyton Turner or whatever, like, man, the Band-Aid is all the way ripped off. All the way ripped off. Like, the Band-Aid is gone. The tooth is pulled. Like, you ever have those, like, loose teeth where you're, like, when you're a baby or whatever, and you're, like, twisting it around, you can almost turn the tooth the whole way around, you can feel, like, just the barely on the bottom is holding on. You can almost, like, put your tongue under the tooth. It's like that. It's like we were walking around with that in our mouth, and it was just time to get rid of it. And boom, tie the string around it, slam the door, put it under your pillow. Tooth Fairy creeps in, gives you $5. You're on your way. And that's where we are now. Do we have a giant hole where our tooth was? Yes. But look on the bright side. We got $5. Right? So, fantastic stuff for the Saints. The hell was I talking about? Jesus. I mean, we're living. We are living. They probably sign a free agent quarterback. Why? Well, I mean, that'd be their fourth-string quarterback. Like, they don't need to, unless they plan on Jake Haener not suiting up, and they plan on Jake Haener being on the practice squad or whatever, like, there's no reason to sign a quarterback. You know? Let's see. Imagine this is the same as the Gronk situation when Gronk was told he was being traded to Detroit. He said, nope, I'm retired. That is what it is. If it is, then, like I said, if Carr takes a year off and plays, goes and plays somewhere else, whatever. I wish him the best. Situations like this are why people talking about 2-year, 5-year, 10-year plans in the NFL are always so off. Yeah, I mean, really, in reality, the NFL operates in like 2, 3, 4-year windows. Let's see. We got Taysom as our fourth quarterback. I mean, remember, Taysom's like hurt. Like, remember that. Taysom's hurt. So that $30 million goes towards next year. Can go whenever we want it. It can go to this year, can go to next year, can go do whatever. Can do whatever. How good does Shough and Rattler have to be to keep the Saints from drafting another quarterback next year? I mean, they have to be good. I mean, for sure. They have to be serviceable starters. If Shough and or Rattler are not good, then yeah, I mean, I think the Saints will draft a quarterback next year. But they have to prove, one of them has to prove that they can be a legit serviceable starter in the NFL. Keenan Allen, certainly a possibility. How much cap space do we have for this year? I think it's, what is it, like 60 million, 59 million or something? I think it's something like that. I think we had 20. Didn't we have like 27 million? And then this, so somewhere in that neighborhood. When are you coming back to the coast? The 228? The BLX? Beautiful place. Beautiful place. Jake can hand out the water bottles. Does this mean that we get out of what we owe next year too? No, the already like guaranteed stuff, the already like dead cap stuff, that's all been paid out, that's all baked in, that's all being moved around. It's strictly the bonus. The only thing we're saving is the $30 million bonus that we restructured on March 12th. That's what we're saving. If they don't sniff the playoffs, that's not true. That's not true. If let's say Rattler's the starting quarterback and the Saints win 8 games or 7 games, and Rattler's good and he's showing some development, then they won't draft a quarterback then. So they don't have to be like playoff level. They don't have to be C.J. Stroud or Jaden Daniels. They just have to show someone has to show some development, show that they can win, show that they can play in the league, show that there's something there. And I think they'll be all right. Saints have $53 million in cap space. Yeah, there you go. But if he's good, Tyler just collects dust on the bench. Yeah, I mean, he's a backup. Yeah, at that point, if Rattler wins out and Rattler is good, then yeah, Shuck's just the backup quarterback. But that's a good problem to have. Like, a good quarterback kind of solves anything. I mean, take a look at Lamar Jackson. How many people talk about the Ravens wasting their first-round pick? Nobody. They took Hayden Hurst. If they would have taken anyone else, think about how good that pick would have been. But they take Hayden Hurst. But no one cares because they took Lamar Jackson. Right? So, like, the idea of, like, a wasted pick, it's like, as long as you find your quarterback, who cares? You know, if Shough loses out to Rattler and Shough becomes a backup, it is what it is. Rattler behind that O-line is interesting. What about this? Chef Boyardee, my boy. Love your raviolis, pause. What about Rattler behind the offensive line with Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed with Alvin Kamara? He didn't have any of them last year. He threw one pass to Chris Olave. He was playing with Jordan Mims and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He didn't have any of the offensive line. So not only is Rattler behind the offensive line, he's also behind all those playmakers. Oh, and he's got Kellen Moore, the ultimate quarterback whisperer. So it's like, damn, that's a lot of change for Rattler. Shuck's ceiling is higher. I mean, hard to really know. Like I don't think either. I think right now it's just strictly guessing. I think it's strictly just guessing who's is higher and all that stuff. Shout out to the 228. I'm from Ocean Springs, also Southern Miss to the top, class of 2010. There you go, Marcelo. Ocean Springs, nice place. Love Front Beach, East Beach. Area's nice. 9 of 11 offensive starters were out at one point when Rattler had to play. Yeah, I mean, like there is something to that. There is something to Spencer Rattler having a year of experience in the NFL and having all those guys back and having Kellen Moore and that offense. So what you're telling me is that we either have a much improved Spencer Rattler situation or Tyler Shough can be better than the first situation, which is a good problem to have. True. Or, worst case scenario, they both just fail. Kellen Moore made this pick. True. Let's see. None of us saw a true sample of Rattler. Completely agree with that statement. Yeah, I mean, not to mention that, like, Rattler almost beat the Command. Like, think about that Commanders game. You know, like, think about what that game looked like, where Haener gets the start. It's a complete disaster. Absolute disaster in every single way. Let's go here to... Rattler comes in, tries to bail him out. Almost gets the job done. Here it is. You know, like really take a look at like Rattler comes in, it's 14-0. Saints are doing absolutely nothing. Rattler says, "All right, let's take a chance. Let's see what we can do." You know? And almost wills this team back within one play of beating the Commanders right before the Commanders go on their run. So it's not like, you know, there's something worth seeing. There's something worth seeing. Absolutely. Washington was also, Washington was fighting for the playoffs. Washington was 9, Washington gave, Jane Daniels ran the ball 11 times. Like, that was a must-have-it game for the Commanders. And look at this. Kendra Miller has 9 carries. Kamara has 5 carries. Kendra Miller is your leading rusher. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Foster Moreau, Dante Pettis, Jawan Johnson. Like, look at Stone Cold Kevin Austin, Cedric Wilson. Like, that's who Spencer Rattler is doing this with. And then Washington goes on to the NFC title game. You the man, James, never forget. Boom. Play some R. Kelly. The storm is over. God, if there was ever time for it. Rattler also played 6 playoff teams in his 7 games with no players. Yeah, I mean, you can go back to all these games. Like, I'm not saying Rattler's going to beat out Shough, but there is something to see. There is something to just try and figure out here when you're looking, like when they played the Packers at Green Bay, prime time. Spencer Rattler leads the team in rushing. Ladies and gentlemen, Spencer Rattler led the team in rushing. Look at these receivers. Foster Moreau led the team in yards. Dante Pettis. Foster Moreau, Dante Pettis, Kevin Austin Jr., Kendra Miller, Jordan Mims, Cedric Wilson, Mason Tipton's on the field. Jordan Mims is the second leading rusher. Look at these guys. Jordan Mims, Kendra Miller, and Jamal Williams. Christ. Despicable. And this is who they're sending Rattler to Green Bay in the snow against. I mean, Rattler did not have it easy. There's no doubt about that. So, we'll see. Again, Rattler, I mean, look at this. I know I keep saying this, but Rattler led the game. Rattler led the Saints in passing and rushing in back-to-back weeks against the Packers and the Raiders. Did he do it against the Bucs? No. Clyde Edwards-Helaire did it against the Bucs with 8 carries for 26 yards. Fantastic. Something to be said for all that. Here is the thing. I don't think Tyler is better than Rattler. He's younger, and yes, coaching staff is gone, but the front office is still in the building. They like him. But like, here's the deal, and I understand what you're saying, but it really doesn't matter. Like, at this point right now, it doesn't matter if we think Tyler Shough has a higher ceiling, if we think Spencer Rattler does, if we think Rattler's better, if we think Shough's better, whatever. We are going to find out. We are going to know in a couple of weeks who is better, who has the higher ceiling, who has we're going to find out all that. You know what I mean? It's like me saying, like, I don't even know what movie's coming out. Thunderbolts. It's like me being like, I think Thunderbolts is going to be the best picture ever. Okay, well, we're going to find out. Because the movie is about to be out. You know, then we can all sit back, watch it, and then there it is. You know what I mean? So, whether it's Shough or Rattler, in a couple of weeks, in a month, we'll have all the answers. We won't have to worry about who's got the higher ceiling, who's got this, who's got that, it's just going to be, he's the starter, okay, and we rock and roll. All the people mad about us not getting Shedeur. I mean, the Shedeur, again, it's just like Quinn Ewers. Like, it's how insane does it sound to be like, man, I can't believe the Saints took Tyler Shough. They could have had Quinn Ewers. It's like, brother, Quinn Ewers was barely drafted. I mean, Quinn Ewers was drafted like 10 picks ahead of me. You know what I mean? Crazy you're still alive. Totally different level. Top 5 pick next season. LOL. Come on, Garrett Nussmeier. Remember, if Underwood goes to LSU, does Garrett Nussmeier even start this year? Something to think about. If we sign Keenan now, we have some serious weapons on offense. Yeah, I mean, true. Ten picks, I'm rolling. And the people saying to tank for Arch, I mean, you know. Yeah, I mean, Arch, same situation. Like, Arch, first of all, Arch isn't going to be in the draft next year. And second of all, guys played 3 games. I would draft the face of the franchise as my quarterback over Ewers. I mean, I think me and Ewers might have pretty similar arms from what I saw last year. Shedeur didn't get any attention in Browns camp. The other guy they drafted got all the looks. Arm for arm, Rattler is just as good. I mean, you know. Arm for, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing with, that's the thing. Like, everyone keeps saying, you know, all this stuff about Tyler Shough's arm. So you could say the exact same thing about Rattler, right? Rattler had the same physical profile. He had the same, not the 6'5", but he's got the same arm. He's got the same this. He's got the former number one prospect, former Heisman favorite, all that stuff. Like, Rattler's coming to party. Rattler ain't Jake Haener. You know what I mean? We got smoked in second half every game, except the Commanders game, which we just looked at. Except for that, ladies and gentlemen. Ross Jackson at 16:10 in his Carr retirement video just said Carr was strong-armed into retirement. I don't know about that. That would be some tea. We getting Cade Klubnik? I like Klubnik. I think Klubnik's sweet. Do you honestly believe outside of Shedeur and Ward, is any quarterback in the draft better? Outside of Shedeur and Ward, brother, one of them was taken first overall. One of them was taken in the 5th round. Why is it outside of Shedeur and Ward? Quinn beat out Arch. He has to be something. Or does that say more about Quinn, or does that say more about Arch? Think about it. I actually think Malik Willis can play. He just wasn't ready early on. Ladies and gentlemen, we just got a Malik Willis drop. We're 2 hours into the live stream. It's 12:51 on a Saturday, and we just got a Malik Willis drop. Is that Malik Willis? Is Malik Willis in the chat? Underwood would have sat his ass down. Nuss quarterback one either way. You think Underwood would have sat down for $8 million? Let's see. I think the sleeper is Kyle at. I like Kyle McCord. I don't know if he's like a player with Jalen Hurts, but I like him. The sleeper is Rourke at Niners. That actually right there, you might be onto something right there. You might be onto something right there, my friend. What up, Malik? Yeah. Shout out, Malik. How many Dome Dogs are you getting this year? I usually get 2 a game. Sometimes, depending on the crown, depending on the Bloody Mary, depending on the whole situation, depending on the chicken tender basket, I may go chicken tender basket and not get the Dome Dogs, but most of the time I get 2 a game. So there were times last year where there was like 3, maybe even 4 thrown in there. So I would say average, like baseline, is probably 12 to 16 Dome Dogs, 14 to 16, somewhere in there. So if you're making a number, that would be the number to start at. Samson Nakua now balling in the UFL. I just saw he slapped a fan. That was crazy. Why do I keep downplaying Shedeur's talent coming? I'm not. Whoa. I'm not. The entire NFL did. Not me. Let's see. We are officially out of cap hell. We had 27 plus the 30 mil. Yeah, like just like that, cap hell's over. Just like that. Like just like that, the cap hell, Saints this, Saints that, it's all over. Think about how much time was wasted. This year and last year talking about Saints cap hell. And I kept telling everybody, the cap is fugazi, everything will be all right. No, relax, no team has ever not been allowed to play because of the cap. Don't worry. And next thing you know, boom, it's over. Do I think any quarterback in the draft is significantly better than Rattler? I think from everything I've heard, Rattler and Shough would have gone behind Bo Nix. So I think they would have been about the same graded. So I think this year Rattler probably would have been a second, third round. I think Shough second, third round, so about the same, I guess. Hurts is 6'1", 223. Shough is 6'5", 219. Both about the same age. Tush push in New Orleans. Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds. Tyler Shough, I would be shocked. I'd be shucked if he's squatting over 315. Let's see. Nick tweeted. Nicholas again? Checking all this live. There he is. There's the boy. There's the boy. Is that QB1? Is it QB1? Is it QB1? Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like Jalen Hurts and Tyler Shough could not be any more different. So, no, I don't think Tyler Shough will be doing the tush push. I think doing the tush push with a guy who's broken both collarbones would be absolutely insane. Let's see. Shough out here with Bub Means already on those morning workouts. Why do you think the Saints don't draft LSU players? I was thinking maybe it's too close to their college, high school friends, possibly. I think it's super overrated, the idea of like a team drafting players from local colleges or whatever. Like think about this, right? What do you think Kellen Moore, do you think LSU is relevant at all to Kellen Moore? No. Kellen Moore didn't care about LSU. Kellen Moore went to Boise State. He's not from here. He's not from the area. He's just looking for good players. What do you think LSU means to Sean Payton? Absolutely nothing. Sean Payton didn't go to LSU. Like all the coaches, all the staff, all the front office, like Kai Harley. Where'd Kai Harley go to college? I don't think it was LSU. You know, so, and that goes for every team. Just like Cleveland or Cincinnati. Like I don't think they care about drafting Ohio State players. It's just best man up, best player available wherever they come from. Who cares? Like, it doesn't matter. You know, like for fans, it's like, yeah, draft the hometown guy, draft the LSU guy, he's an hour away, draft the Tulane guy, draft whatever. But the front office, they're not watching Tulane games. The front office isn't watching LSU games. Kellen Moore is watching just as much Boise State as he is LSU. Probably more, right? He's watching every Boise State game. He's not watching every LSU game. So I think that's another thing that kind of gets shaken up a little bit about or misconstrued a little bit. They just don't they just don't think like that. Like they just don't care. You know, I don't think they really care. Let's see. How much do you think strength of quarterback class determines how much opportunity you get in the NFL? Like if Rattler was taken in the second round, would we see him differently? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Like Cam Ward. Cam Ward is the first overall pick. But if he would have came out last year, he's probably like I don't even know if he gets taken ahead of Bo Nix. Right? So he would be looked at completely different. So yeah, draft class, draft pick, situation, system, that all changes how a prospect is looked at. Let's see. If Big Will fell to us, he would be a Saint. Like, that's a good example too. Like Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks are the exact same to the Saints coaching staff because they're just players. There's like it's not like one's from LSU, so we got to get them. One's from Texas, so you know, like I am the press conference. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget that. I am the press conference. All right. Let me pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on. All right, Saints. There it is.
Am I the only one who doesn't get it?
Hey, get a grip. You got this.
Okay, so what? You have the answers?
Do you just want the answers?
Just get ready from a rep standpoint and opportunity standpoint, and obviously those guys will be ready and fired up for that. Again, I feel like it's gone the right way, and it's been a good process.
I mean, now we got to wait for New Orleans football because the audio is scuffed on New Orleans' own stream.
Room would have been very valuable under all circumstances, and certainly as Derek's injury became something. Obviously, there's a little bit more awareness to it, but we were navigating it originally with that plan of if someone fell into a situation that the board fell and that player presented itself, we'd be ready to take a quarterback in a number of situations and cases, and so certainly we felt like it played out pretty well for us.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we just officially went over 14,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
Shout out.
Going to play a couple of different positions as we go, just kind of let these guys get settled. I think for us, it's just seeing these guys in different body positions, and so certainly he went across the offensive line today, and we'll narrow that focus as we go.
I'm going to get some water, ladies and gentlemen. BRB.
Guys, every position, we're trying to expose them to a couple different
spots,
a couple different
I gotta get some water.
environments, and just see how they respond, and then we'll settle in as we go.
Will you do the same thing with Talvez Florida? Will he play both sides too?
We'll go through that. This is more like the rookie minicamp focus of these guys, just exposing them to a bunch of different spots, let those guys go, and then we got a couple weeks here as we kind of transition to phase 3 shortly.
What's it been like for you just to get on the field with your staff and actually be able to go through a practice with you guys and how things are coming together?
It's been great. This thing ultimately it feels like a desk job. The first few months, just all the off the field stuff that you're kind of navigating as you go through the draft process, building the roster, building the staff. And so at the end of the day, we all love being out there with the players and helping these guys become the best version of themselves. It was a lot of fun.
You got the quarterback position as it stands right now. You lose a veteran. Is that a spot that you may look at addressing in the next few weeks?
We'll certainly have awareness to it. I think there's a number of positions on our roster that as you go through it, we're kind of at that 90 mark now. And so now you're navigating, okay, what veterans are available, what guys were just in our camp that we feel really good about, maybe giving them an extended opportunity as we go through this process. We know this roster will move certainly in the next couple weeks as you kind of finish that OTA phase of this thing. And so, we have 3 quarterbacks right now. Certainly, in a lot of cases, you have 4, not always, but, certainly we're ready if the opportunity presents itself. Yes, yeah. He's just navigating a pre-existing thing that felt like a procedure would allow itself to just get ahead of it.
Was that relevant to the ankle injury that he experienced during his final season at the Louisville?
No.
He had surgery. Sorry, go ahead. He had surgery after the draft.
Yeah. They just went through a little medical thing. So.
I know that every situation is different, it's personal, but you were a player in this league, you had to make a decision to retire. Maybe do you reach out to Derek, do you talk to him about, obviously it's a life-changing decision, that it's going to change what he does. I mean, you had to do it at one point too.
Certainly everyone goes through this process in their career. Everyone wants to be an NFL football player, and for the guys that get to do it, it's incredible. It's an incredible experience, and there's nothing like it. Naturally, everyone has to transition at some point to something else. Certainly we're all, are there for Derek in any way we can possibly help as he goes through this process. But, he's been phenomenal through this thing. I think this whole organization thinks the world of him, feels great. Feels like he'll, whatever his next step is, it'll be an incredible experience.
It's just unbelievable how bad the audio is from the New Orleans Saints stream. God bless. I mean, I can't even hear the questions.
It's certainly different just from a rep
I don't even know what they're asking.
Obviously, a lot of times the offseason program, you're kind of focused
no
on
idea.
Building one guy up for the regular season and allowing the young guys to develop and see where those positions lie. We'll rotate all these guys. We'll give them all opportunities. We'll, I think this whole process we'll be very patient with it and make sure all these guys get the chances to compete at a really high level. Tyler hopped in here and did an excellent job.
All right. I mean, I can't watch this. I can't watch something like this, ladies and gentlemen. This is sickening. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for I'm gonna wait for New Orleans football or someone that understands audio to put out their version of the interview, and then I'll react to that, and then I'll put out the video. So, this has worked out well. Dodge, Shador, and Carr is gone. Future is bright. There you go. Saints going to use that $30 million to update the audio. Yeah, they can use that $30 million we saved to get some microphones. James, maybe I've missed it, but any news on how it affects the cap? Yes. We saved $30 million. We recoup the $30 million bonus. So, plus $30 million. If we're doing the accounting sheet, plus $30 million starting June 2nd. Yeah, why are we talking about Jameis Winston? He's on the Giants. Guys, I'm begging you. I'm begging you. We got to quit trying to rehash former Saints players. Like, we're moving on. Don't we want to move on? Don't y'all want to move on? Don't y'all want to just say, you know what, new era, new time, reset, new coaches, new front office, like the Michael Thomas, the Jameis Winston, the Pierre Thomas, and Darren Sproles, and Chris Ivory. Like, guys, we can, there's new players. There's new player. We don't have to go get Kyle Turley. We don't have to go find Aaron Brooks, or like, we can just kind of, get new players, and it's okay. We can go and get new guys. Yeah, Aaron Brooks, like, we don't have, like, Jameis Winston, Aaron Brooks, like, all these guys, like, good news. We just drafted 9 rookies. Good news. We just drafted all these new players. We've got all these young guys. Like, we don't have to go get whoever, and we don't have to get Anzalone. We don't have to go get, like, there will be another Zach Bond. There will be another Trey Hendrickson. There will be another whatever. We don't have to cosplay. We don't have to take Foster Moreau and dress him up like Jimmy Graham. We can just let these guys be their own guys, Yeah, kick the tires on Ian Book. Yeah, we can just go get Ian Book. Let's just go get Ian Book, Teddy Bridgewater, Chris Ivory, Lance Moore, Devery Henderson, Dante Stallworth. We just go get all the boys. Rock and roll, Why even stop there? Let's just go get Dennis Allen, Pete Carmichael. Why stop there? Let's go get Aaron Glenn, put him at defensive backs coach. We'll get, just rock and roll. Get Kerry Collins. Let's get all the boys. Why stop there? Let's go get A-Bear. Let the Cajun Cannon sling it. Let the Cajun Cannon sling it. Get Greg Williams, yeah. Deuce McAllister, yeah. Put A-Bear and McAllister. Let the Cajun Cannon play quarterback with the headset on. Let Deuce in the backfield. Let Zach Strief play on the line. Let them simultaneously announce the game and do color commentary and play. Or do we take the players we just drafted with the new coaches we just got, with the brand new staff, and allow them to build the new version of the New Orleans Saints? What do y'all think? What are we feeling? What are we feeling? Or would y'all rather go get Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian, Michael Thomas, Zach Strief, Deuce McAllister? What are y'all feeling? Kenny Vaccaro, that's a good one. No 100 RAS production player. The closest we have to the 100 RAS is Danny Stutzman. I think Stutzman was like, was he 97 or 98? He was way up there. Way up there. Tyler's the answer. He's Tyler or Rattler are going to fight to be starting quarterback, and if they're not the answer, we'll find somebody else. But the real answer is Kellen Moore. That's the answer. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think when it's all said and done, Kellen Moore will be the greatest head coach in Saints history. I think he will be a better head coach than Sean Payton. So is Bub Means the answer? Is Danny Stutzman the answer? Is Devin Neal the answer? Not worried about it. I think Kellen Moore is the answer. I think Kellen Moore is the answer. I think he's going to build a culture, build an identity, and he's going to push us where we got to be as a franchise. The individual players and all that stuff, like they'll come and go. You know, there will be injuries, there will be bust draft picks, there will be good draft picks, there will be whatever. That just happens. But I believe in Kellen Moore, and I believe in what he's going to do and what he's going to build for this franchise. Let's see. How's our situation at corner? Pretty chill. I mean, we'll see. Like, we got to see how these players play. But and you never know. With this money we just saved from Derek, we may go get a free agent, a corner. I don't know. It could be Jalen Ramsey. It could be Asante Samuel, right? Like, who knows? Or it could just be some combination of, Kool-Aid, Alante, Yadam, Riley. See what happens. Unrelated, but James, you running any bets on the NBA playoffs? The only NBA playoff bet I made was the game when Garland and Mobley was out. I took the over of the Pacers-Cavs game, and that hit by 30 points. That's the only bet I've made. I have a lot. I have a lot of capital tied up into the Carolina Hurricanes winning the series against the Washington Capitals. But as far as the NBA playoffs, I've just been kind of watching. Haven't bet too much. Let's see. Bro, I'm excited for this season. I'm going to actually watch preseason. I mean, seriously, like, I don't usually go to preseason games, but this is like the year to go to preseason games because they are legitimate. It is a legit competition between the most important position on this in the sport. Like, watching Rattler and Shough compete, like, man, that's going to be a blast. You think we keeping Taysom? I don't know. I think if you can save money, because I know the conversation was you can save whatever $10 million if you release Taysom. I think you probably have to. I think you probably have to do that because Taysom's injury, he's out half the year anyways. You know, like, Taysom might retire. Who the hell knows? So, Oilers over Knights in 6. Bet the rent. Past 2 years, I've got cooked betting on the Oilers in the playoffs. So, should have two home preseason games this year too. There you go. How many years do you think Alvin got left? It's always hard to tell with running backs, but Alvin looked great last year. I'll say that. Like, he looked fantastic last year. Guy looked awesome. So, he's still playing at a super high level. No idea. No reason to keep Taysom. It was fun while it lasted. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Whatever Taysom wants to do, whatever the cap. But if they can save cap by releasing him, it'd be hard to imagine they don't. How does Derek Carr retirement affect our salary cap? We save $30 million. Is Keenan Allen a real option? Yeah. Yep. What about our situation in wide receiver? Yeah, I mean, it's thin, but again, we just freed up $30 million. So do they go get Keenan Allen? Because it's thin, but Keenan Allen, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed ain't a bad start. Right? Like, that's not bad. Why did they cut A.T. Perry? Because he's just a whatever player. Just kind of whatever. Same reason they let MVS walk. Because they're just journeyman, 5th string, 6th string level players. I mean, I had people screaming that letting MVS walk was going to change the trajectory of the franchise. He had, what do you have, 20 catches last year? How did I get cooked on the Oilers? They made the Stanley Cup because they didn't win the Stanley Cup. And then the previous season, they went out early as well. Who's the highest paid Saints player now? Gotta be, let me think. I guess DeMario? I think DeMario might be the highest. We might be able to look it up. Let's see. Why not put Taysom QB1 for only 1 year? Brother, he can't walk. His leg got exploded. He's not available. What do you mean? Is he going to play quarterback sitting in a chair? Don't forget, guys, he's hurt. All right, let's see. Taysom is the biggest cap hit, but he's not the biggest salary. How do I look at? Let's see. I'm pretty sure Eric. We got Cam, Eric, dead cap, cash total. Who even knows what's going on here? The Stanley Cup Finals is early. 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Not last year. 2 years ago. Rattler was in the same draft class as Bo Nix and went in the 5th. Do you think Shough would have been in the 5th? From everything I understand, Shough would have gone after Bo Nix. So more than likely, he would have went somewhere in that neighborhood. El Clasico tomorrow. Are you going to watch? Of course. I think Barcelona is way better than Real Madrid right now, but it is got to be so hard for Barcelona. It's got to be so hard for Barcelona to play the games they have just played in the UCL and then turn around and play. Like it's just got to be a lot for them physically. So I mean, I think Barcelona is awesome, but they got to be worn out. But yeah, Real Madrid's struggling. Don't be shocked if Taysom retires. Yeah, I could see it. I could see that for sure. I would not be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2.5 hour stream on a Saturday. Did we save any cap space? Yes, 30 million. 2.5 hour stream on a Saturday. Insane news, insane morning. Go watch the video for my immediate reaction. We posted that before we went live. Unreal, unbelievable stuff. And we'll be covering this all weekend. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you, everyone who pushed us over 14,000 subscribers. Insane. Much appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your Saturday. Get out there. Get nuts. French 75s, mimosas, screwdrivers, Guinness, whatever you're doing. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you.